Alright boys, today I'm reviewing Rematch. This game was developed and published by Sloclap Studio, which is owned by Kepler Interactive. And Kepler is owned by a group of independent game developers, and they have published such games as Chia, Scorn, Sifu, and Clair Obscur Expedition 33 recently. Sloclap Studio is an independent video game studio founded in 2015 in Paris. This is the studio responsible for games such as Sifu and Absolver, but now they're taking a crack at the sports market with Rematch, their new arcade simulation soccer game. In Rematch, players control one player on their team from a third-person perspective, switching between attacker and defender and even the goalkeeper, which has their own specific abilities. The game features an aim and shoot mechanic for shooting the ball and scoring goals, and it's also set in closed virtual reality arenas with no fouls, no offside, or any breaks in play. The ball doesn't go out of play, so there aren't any throw-ins or goal kicks either. And right now at launch, the game features 4 multiplayer modes: 3v3, 4v4, 5v5, and a ranked 5v5 mode. The game will also contain seasonal content to add game modes, events, features, and cosmetics for both players and stadiums, and an offline mode with AI-controlled teammates is set to be released in 2026. Yeah, that's right, you can't play offline with bots at all right now, and that's not good, but we'll get into that later in the video. So let's talk about the good aspects of the gameplay. This game is the epitome of the easy to learn, hard to master saying. The controls are fairly basic with not many advanced mechanics. So for example, on an Xbox controller, you press A to dribble the ball, X to pass, right trigger to shoot, then you have a modifier button, the right bumper, to make the X pass an overhead pass, or the A dribble to do a rainbow flick over your head. B is to tackle, left bumper to sprint, Y to block shot, and left trigger to focus. That's pretty much it for the controls. I mean, from there you utilize those basic controls to chain together all kinds of crazy plays in this game. It really is awesome just how basic this game is, yet very advanced at high skill levels. It has that same effect that Rocket League has, where it looks like 2 different games being played depending on what skill levels you're watching play. This makes you want to keep playing and getting better, because unlike most online games out there these days, your skill actually matters, and you can see yourself getting better with each passing match. And once you get a grasp of the controls, you start to put together your own combos and moves, from dribbling the ball, to passing it off the walls, to making crazy goals off a rainbow flick bicycle kick. It makes you want to keep playing just one more match. And having no rules and 6-minute matches make going from one game to the next a breeze. It's not NFL Blitz, where you can just tackle anybody at any time like that. The game just never stops unless a goal is scored. The arena has walls like Rocket League, so no out of bounds and no offside. This also makes you have to play defense, or else you'll get cherry-picked to death. And 6-minute matches are a perfect balance between a quick game, but having enough time to play a game out. In each match, you either play to the end of 6 minutes, and whoever has the most points wins, or the game ends by mercy rule if one team is up by 4 goals. There is also overtime if it's a tie game at the end of the 6 minutes, so that's nice. Also, matchmaking didn't seem to take long for me, whether I was playing 3v3, 4v4, or 5v5. Obviously it takes a little longer for 5v5 matches, but it was relatively painless and I was in and out of matches quickly and smoothly. The game switches your position after every goal scored, so everyone has a chance to play goalie. I really like that aspect because then if you lose, it's not all on one player. Usually multiple people will give up goals, so it's everyone's fault for losing. And when you have chemistry with your teammates, this game is an absolute blast. There's not too many other multiplayer games out there right now, especially in the sports genre, that can match that feeling you get when everything is clicking on all cylinders. Someone passes a cross into the box to you, you do a light header pass back to the other side of the box, and your boy lays it in with his own lazy header. Those moments are hard to come by in other games, but in Rematch, this is possible every match with the right teammates. This alone keeps me coming back for more. And there aren't any player builds or stats of any kind in this game, so every player has the exact same height, weight, speed, and power. This does wonders for the game balance, and I wish more multiplayer games would get back to balanced gameplay and get rid of the player builds and abilities, as all these do is add imbalances to the gameplay and cause ridiculous metas to form in an otherwise good game. But you can also customize your player to look however you want. The game has male and female characters, which some people are mad about, saying the game is woke because of it. I'd call it woke if I thought it was, but I can understand the reasoning here in this game in particular. Because it's an arcade simulation soccer game with no builds and no height weight advantages, so we aren't going for real life here. This is just a fun soccer game, and they wanted to make sure you could make your characters how you wanted. I do wish they had more customization options right now, but I'll get to that later. There are seasons with unlocks that you can buy for real money or grind the game currency to unlock them. And from my experience, you don't need to buy anything, as they're very generous with the game currency, and I had so much left over after buying everything that I didn't know what to do with it. Alright, let's talk about the bad aspects of the gameplay. There are a few things about this game that, depending on the situation, can make your experience very bad. One being, your teammates can be absolute cancer. This game, like with any competitive multiplayer game, suffers from the same problems as other games like Rocket League, Overwatch, or Marvel Rivals do. If you don't have friends to play with, then your experience is left in the hands of randoms. And this means most of the time, you're going to get stuck with the Ronaldo wannabe who never passes the ball and thinks he can break 3 guys' ankles at the same time. Or maybe you get stuck with the guy that runs out of the goal with the ball as the goalkeeper, then immediately gets it stolen and scored on. Hell, they might even just turn around and score on their own goal because they're mad the other team scored once. On the flip side of this, the next game, you might get matched with the team that passes all around and plays as a team, and you have a blast. This causes your solo queue experience to be a mixed bag emotional roller coaster, man. I mean, some teammates will just stand down at the other goal and continuously spam, "Hey, I'm open! Hey, I'm open! Pass me the ball! Hey!" And you just want to smash your head against the wall. This can all culminate into a very bad experience. A few of these games in a row, and you have to get off for a while because you literally can't play the game. I mean, you literally can't play the game. You can't play the game because, unfortunately, as of launch, this game does not include an offline mode. I don't know how that's possible, but this means that all you have is practice mode and free play to run around with no players and practice. You cannot play a game against AI bots at all as of right now. This is a problem, mainly because it forces players to have to play quick match with other people in order to even learn how to play the game. And this leads to experienced players having to play with someone who doesn't even know how to dribble the ball correctly yet. And you can't really be mad at the player because he has to play in quick match to learn. So they basically just throw you into the fire and let you sink or swim. Also, the desync can be absolutely atrocious at times. The rubber band effect, particularly on tackles and slide tackles, can drive you insane. Sometimes you will clearly slide tackle through the ball, or be the first one to the ball, only for the ball to be going the other way. Or to the same effect, when you're dribbling with the ball, but someone slide tackles past you or in front of you, not even touching you or the ball, you just go down and lose possession. These moments can be very frustrating, and so far during the first week of launch, I've experienced this too many times to count. The desync issues need to be addressed immediately, but it does seem like Sloclap are trying to clean it up right now. They've put out patches almost every single day since release, and the desync has been getting better by the day, so let's hope this continues. We gotta talk about the goalkeepers having magnetic hands, which causes you to play off the walls more than playing actual soccer. Now this is just a personal gripe of mine, because when the ball is crossed into the box, if you try to use a header or a tap in, the goalkeeper will just suck the ball up. And since basic soccer plays are hard to score off of, people have started just bouncing the ball off the wall above the goalkeeper and then kicking it in. And now your basic wall bounce is actually very easy to defend as the goalkeeper, but higher skilled players will cross the ball off the wall a few times before putting it in, having you running all over the place before knowing when to actually dive for a save. Because listen, if you dive on one of the wall bounces, it's all over. Once. If you dive, it's over because they're just going to tap it right in. So you just have to stand there watching them bounce the ball off the wall 2, 3, 4, hell, who knows how many times before they kick it in. Good players. So yeah, the goalie magnetic hands are really rough for me. I want to play more soccer. Some people like this aspect and are enjoying that the game is more like Rocket League in that sense, but with how smooth the rest of the gameplay is, it makes me sad that the meta is going to be a bunch of wall bounces instead of actual soccer plays. Players will either love this or hate it, but even though I don't like the wall bounce style, I'm still going to keep playing this game because it's just that damn fun. And for as basic as the controls are, this game takes a bit of time just to get the movement and camera down. As of right now, they don't really have a good ball cam that follows the ball for you, so you have to manually look around with your right stick to see the field. And this is fine, but the problem lies in the fact that you shoot with the right trigger and it goes wherever you're looking. So if you're going on a run and you're looking back to your teammate and waiting for the cross, you have to spin back real quick, find your reticle, aim your shot, all while tracking the ball in the air and trying to get to it. And this can take quite a bit of time to get used to, but you will get used to it in time and it becomes less of a problem. And I can't believe I'm saying this about a game like this, but the game does not have crossplay at launch. I don't know how the hell they dropped the ball with that one, but yeah, no crossplay at launch. But they did put out a post immediately saying that crossplay was their #1 priority and that we should be getting it within these first weeks to a month. And I think Sloclap understands the importance of this feature and that it has to be there with a game like this, so let's hope they keep their word. Oh man, right when you launch the game, you see, this game is protected by easy anti-cheat, boys. Well, it ain't called easy for nothing. As far as PC players like myself are concerned, this means that if people want to cheat in this game, then there's really nothing stopping them. Sloclap has to make sure to curb cheating as quickly and efficiently as possible if they want this game to be taken seriously by players as a competitive multiplayer game. This is the reason why I'm actually happy that this game isn't free to play. I mean, at least when they ban a cheater, they would have to make a new account and purchase the game again at full price. That is definitely a huge deterrent. And we've already seen a few instances of people cheating in this game with infinite stamina. So let's hope that doesn't become a trend, because if they can curb the cheating, then this game has the potential to be something great. So to summarize the gameplay is simple yet addicting with that easy to learn, hard to master style of play. The game feels fair and balanced, and the mechanics seem to be very consistent barring the desync issues. Even though the gameplay is fun and addicting, not having any offline mode with bots really hurts this game. When you don't have friends to play with, this game can be an absolute cancer. A toxic community will destroy a game faster than anything, so let's hope this can get sorted out with the solo queue or people just getting better. Even after saying that though, I will still continue to roll the dice in matchmaking, looking for that one game with the team where everything is clicking, because nothing beats it. There's nothing like it. Alright, moving on to the good aspects of the visuals. The first thing you think of when you get into the game is Overwatch meets Rocket League. I mean, the art style is colorful and vibrant like Overwatch, but the look of the goals and the arena immediately feel like you've been thrown into Rocket League without your car. I thought the graphics went well with what they were trying to do here. The visuals help to give the game that arcade style feel to it, and it's strange to play such a mechanically sound soccer game, all the while looking like it came out of the world of Overwatch. Alright, moving on to the bad aspects of the visuals. The vibrant, cartoonish graphics can be very distracting at times. Some of the different arenas can be eyesores and make it harder to actually play the game. For instance, one arena turns into a desert, and it gets very bright, and it can be harder to see the ball and the action, as opposed to the underwater or night city arenas. The way that tackles look, especially slide tackles, will make you scratch your head a lot. Some of this is desync, but also has to do with the animations and the graphics. Sometimes the ball will not make sense where it goes, as I said earlier, and it will look very odd the way that it played out. Example is you slide tackling the ball first, only for you to go through the ball kinda, but then your opponent is just walking along, nothing ever happened to him. This is not all desync. This is partly because of the animation itself and the way the graphics pop when tackles occur. So because of this, you'll be left yelling at the TV because you should be going the other way with the ball, only for them to go down and score. And spinning the camera to try and keep track of the ball could make some players sick after a while. You have to play with a higher sensitivity than most games in order to move fast enough, but that speed can also hinder you lining up your shots. I mean, you'll be spinning all over the place back and forth as the ball goes back and forth trying to figure out where the action is. You get used to it after a while, but it can be very disorienting at first. Alright, to summarize the visuals. The art style fits the arcade feel of the game nicely, but some of the animations and camera movement could leave you feeling sick to your stomach. Some of the arenas can be off-putting during the match, and trying to keep track of the ball can be frustrating at times. Overall, I think they did a good job with the visuals here, but I would like to see them clean up some of the animations, and let me pick my own arenas to play in instead of making us play in the captain's arena. Because there are a few arenas I just can't stand playing in, and you have to play whichever one the captain of your team is, and it's just random when you join a match. Alright, moving on to the good aspects of the sound. The soundtrack goes well with the setting and atmosphere, and the sound effects are exactly what you would expect out of a soccer, Overwatch, Rocket League combo. The menu music gets you ready to rock, and once you're in the match, the music keeps the tone of the game going, and it even fades out on shots on goal to make it more intense. And different arenas have different music, or so it seemed, so that was a nice touch. And the ball bouncing off of the wall is so reminiscent of Rocket League, it's crazy. Sloclap did a great job fusing these game ideas together here. You gotta give him credit. Alright, moving on to the bad aspects of the sound. There are only a few voices to choose from for your character, and there are only like 5 things you can emote, so you constantly hear the same things being screamed on the pitch over and over again. You can say, "I'm open," "Thanks," "Good job," "We got this," and "Sorry." You're going to hear these players screaming this constantly, and it gets annoying fast. We need more voices and more things to say at least so that it's not so redundant. This was pretty much my only gripe with the sound of the game. So to summarize the sounds of soccer are all here in their own arcadey kind of way. I mean, the music hits when it needs to and the sound effects are on point, but you quickly get sick of hearing your teammates constantly yelling for you to pass them the ball as soon as it leaves their foot. "Hey, I'm open! Pass it! Cross it! Cross it!" I mean, as soon as you haven't even touched it yet, you're still looking for the ball. "I'm open! Oh, cross the ball! Cross! I'm open! I'm open! I'm open!" It gets so bad. Alright, moving on to my final thoughts. In the age of garbage sports games, Rematch stands out as a breath of fresh air and a glimpse of what is to come for other sports titles as well. This game is trying its best to be as fair and balanced as it can be, and it's allowing the player's skill to shine through instead of algorithms and pay-to-win garbage. The company seems dedicated to patching the game and trying to clean it up as best as they can. They want this to be the next Rocket League, and it has a chance to be something like that. I don't think it will take over Rocket League just because Rocket League is free to play while Rematch has a $30 entry fee. But the gameplay is buttery smooth once you get the hang of the controls, and since the game has a high skill ceiling, it keeps you coming back for more because you want to get better at the game, because the better you are, the more fun it is. But as of right now, the game can also become one of the most frustrating experiences of your life very quickly. When you don't have friends to play with and are forced to solo queue, you get absolute cancer for teammates 50% of the time. They don't pass, they think they're Ronaldo, they refuse to play goalkeeper, and they score on their own goal. And this just makes you want to turn the game off, and I have many times, only to come back a little bit later. It's hard to stay away from because the two sides are so extreme. I mean, one match you're having the time of your life, the next match you want to put your head through a wall. Nothing in between. And then you got the desync issues, at least right now at launch, which can be a game breaker for a lot of people. You can only slide through the ball, get tackled from 5 feet away, and not connect on headers because of lag and desync so many times before you turn the game off. This is probably the worst and most frustrating part of the entire game right now, so I really hope they fix the lag and desync issues. I would hate to see this game die simply because of server issues. So should you buy this game? Honestly guys, this has been the hardest review I've done so far, but I'm gonna have to go with yeah! Yes, you should buy this game. Now there are definitely plenty of reasons not to buy this game, especially right now, and at the price point of $30. But it nudges its way into a buy for me because we need to let the industry know that yes, we want these types of games. Just make sure to clean them up. But yes, this concept, we want this for all our sports games. We need to make sure we send that message to them. I actually predicted this last year in my Future of Sports Games video about indie devs coming through soon with these sports games that are basically my career mode from the NBA 2K games, except applied to all sports. I'm talking football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and soccer. They're finally starting to figure out that we don't need official licenses or real players. We just need to be able to make our own player and play the sport with other real people, each player being a real person. This game is just the beginning of many other sports games like this to come out. And this game's not going to kill FIFA or anything like that. I mean, hell, it doesn't even have any clubs or anything like that yet. I'm sure they'll add that, but you can't even make your own teams or nothing like that yet. It's not going to kill FIFA, but it's definitely going to pull people away from it. People that just want to play team-based sports games will play these. And the few whales that are left will stay playing the AAA sports games until they eventually turn into mobile games, and the whales will finally be gone and playing the game on their phones where they were always supposed to be in the first place. And also, many of the reasons as to why I would lean into not buying this game are due to launch issues, server instability, and lack of friends to play with. And the lack of friends is not the game's fault, but if they fix the server stability and a few other things, this game turns into a must-buy. Because the game at its core is just fun, and that's what you want out of a video game. I mean, hell, soccer is my least favorite sport out of the 5 main sports. And I'm still having an absolute blast playing this. So you will definitely enjoy it if you're a soccer fan at heart. Alright guys, well that was my review of Rematch. I'm into it. I can't stop playing it. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. But in the meantime, I'm going to get back on the pitch, boys. Peace.